Welcome to Blockchain Week. My name is Amy Rose and I'm from Blockchain Australia. Up next, we have Brooks Entwistle, SVP of Global Customer Success and Managing Director of APAC and MENA at Ripple. Welcome to the stage, Brooks. Thank you for joining us.
Great. Thank you for having me. It's an honor to be here. I'm super excited about this next 20 minutes. I will make the most of the time. I know you're coming off a terrific keynote as well as lunch, so this 1 o'clock slot is always challenging, but I promise to pound through it here. It's an honor to be joining you at Blockchain Week Australia, live from sunny Singapore today, where I'm based. But over my 30 years of working and living in this dynamic region, I've had the opportunity to spend a bunch of time in Australia building financial services and technology businesses, and look forward to meeting many of you in person very soon. I only wish I had a flat white properly in front of me here, but I'll do my best with the local brew. I'm going to do 8 things today. I like the number 8. I'm in Singapore today. I'm a big fan of 8,000 meter peaks in the region, as some of you know, and like to have 8 key points to run you through. We'll keep it tight, but today I want to give you a sense of what we're up to at Ripple and how we see this important opportunity where we believe that crypto is the true new normal in finance. Let me start with number 1. Since the very beginning, Ripple has focused on how enterprises can take advantage of blockchain technologies. We've actually been at this for 10 years. We're not new to the scene. We started early, not as early as others you will see today, but really have been around for some time going at this opportunity. We went out to build a use case for our XRP ledger and XRP and built RippleNet, which is evolved into a platform for cross-border payments with crypto native services on top. Think instant settlement, lines of credit, liquidity services. And we've been at this now for many years. We needed to build a use case first in order to really realize the dream that we're very much living today as crypto has become this new normal in finance. I truly believe we're at an inflection point. The reason this event has 5 epic days of lineup across multiple cities in Australia, and with an outstanding group of speakers and a huge crowd dialing in from all over the world, not just on the ground, is because of this point. We're at an inflection point and then some, and certainly, as I'll argue later, even more so in the region. Second, it is clear that digital assets are becoming increasingly mainstream today. You cannot pick up any sort of news stream, Twitter feed, you name it, you see it. In this last year, it has been incredible to see what's happened. Witness the cover of Time magazine this week. Crypto is becoming increasingly mainstream today. We believe that crypto will reach 10% of global FX volume by this end of 2022. You saw the crypto market cap hit 3 trillion US last year. And importantly, and this is where we really come at it, we've seen fantastic and world-changing and life-changing use cases emerge across finance and tech, payments, identity, lending, NFTs, and so much more. Bringing it home to this region, which many of us call home, and I have for many years, it's the most dynamic region in the world for what we are doing here. The number of transactions here has been extraordinary. We believe it accounts for some 43 or 45% of global crypto activity. There's some 1,000 crypto firms and exchanges here in the region. And importantly, as we'll talk about later, Japan, South Korea, Australia, Singapore, many of these markets are leading the way globally on fintech and crypto. And that is just super exciting and super important too. We're operating in an ecosystem that is supportive to what we are trying to do and what all of you are out building towards. We're not in a part of the world where what we're doing is being questioned or the way we're going about it is being questioned. This is the place to be. And as someone who's built firms since the very beginning, getting out to this region, I love it. I love the ecosystem we're in. The third point I want to raise today, we actually commissioned a report that showed that 76% of global institutions expect to use crypto in the next 3 years. That is across the board. 76% of global institutions. So this is no longer something that some banks are thinking about or some super hot fintechs that are represented on the panels or keynotes today. That group was out in front from the very beginning, and they're partners of ours. We love working with them, but this is going wider, deeper, and bigger. 76% of global institutions. which really means that you think about it, as you interact, whether or not you're in the BD function, your ops, you're running a business, you're raising money, you're a VC, this field is growing by the minute, and the number of people playing on that field growing at the same time. If you really dig in even further here within APAC, we just find this region is the place where those that we surveyed were by far the most optimistic about the value of blockchain and its tokens. So this is not necessarily something that's just global. We think it's actually much more deeply rooted here in this region. And as I've always liked to say, having built businesses out here, one of the things we can do in this region is make sure that the global blockchain and crypto ecosystem is pushed from this part of the world. This should be the place where innovation happens. This should be the place where some of the leading companies are founded, funded, and breakout opportunities. This should never be run or owned by one region. That's the ethos of what we're all doing anyway. But I love the fact that so many leaders have come out of this region, whether or not you're down in Australia, the town where I sit in right now and have called home for the last 10 years, Singapore has been an absolutely dynamic incubator of crypto and blockchain companies and opportunities. I would say that as you go to point 4, in the last year, not a day goes by, and you've seen this, where crypto isn't mentioned by regulators, in addition to business leaders, thought leaders, and others. Governments are really feeling the need to get their heads around this. And I want to double stamp on this issue of regulators right here, because it is important to understand that at Ripple, we want to work with regulators. We want to build our businesses in geographies where the regulators are open, excited, and understand where blockchain and crypto are going. That's been the approach that we've taken as a company internationally, and it's the approach that all of our leaders and business execs, myself included, have been raised to do. We want to absolutely reach out, educate, partner with, have a dialogue with regulators around the region, and we have exactly that going on. Whether or not it's the FSA in Japan, the MAS here in Singapore, the regulators in Australia, across the region, not just in APAC, but through the Middle East and North Africa, which we also look after out of Singapore. In this region, the dialogue is robust and growing, and that's the way it should be. We need to make sure that this is something that we're bringing along together as a group, as an opportunity. And so there are parts of the world where this is not the case, where you can't be in the same room as a regulator. They don't want to talk to you. They're not interested in what you have to say. We think there's plenty of markets that have demonstrated that that's not the way they want to operate or the way they want to regulate. And we're super excited to be building our regional headquarters and our teams and our businesses in dynamic markets like Singapore and this APAC region, Australia, Japan, and elsewhere. Number 5, as you think about the question is how fiat and crypto actually come together and work together. We believe there is a nexus here, and I'm going to walk you through how we get there, because these really are meant to work together. We had to go away after developing the XRP ledger and XRP and created the company Ripple and build a use case, which is RippleNet, which we've spent years building across 55 plus countries with global world-class banks, many in this region, and really exciting, forward-looking, forward-thinking fintechs and PSPs that also want to be on that network. But we built it on a fiat-based system because we needed to start there. We needed to have a proof case that we could use our technology to begin to move value across the internet, across a payments infrastructure that is still to this day slow, antiquated, costly, inefficient. Transaction speeds 3 to 5 days, no end-to-end visibility. Did your money get there? Did it get to your family where it's desperately needed, not in 3 to 5 days, but in the next hour? It simply wasn't built for this world that we're living in now. So we've, for a long time, focused on using crypto and blockchain for cross-border payments with instant settlement, drawing from global liquidity, lines of credit, et cetera. And we believe that there is a bridge here that we've built. And as we think about what we've done in the last year, as we've turned this fiat-based payment system on with crypto and digital assets, 25% of our volume on the network now is done with our on-demand liquidity product, which is putting XRP on these rails, driving settlements, and the movement of value extremely fast, extremely efficiently, in a way that is absolutely documented and is done with a very much of an environmentally green approach behind all of it. So we're excited about where this goes, but the fiat basis of what we started is important. So this element of traditional finance and the role in all that we're trying to do is still important. If we do our job and bring traditional finance along with what we're trying to do here, wow, it is an absolutely open field to run on. And we're very much seeing that open field running right now for all of us. Let's move to the next point, CBDCs. There's another hot term. There's lots of hot terms. And if you could kind of capture, and I'm sure someone will, all the buzzwords and terms over the course of the next 5 days, it would be a long list. But let's talk about central bank digital currencies, because we do believe that that's an important use case and opportunity for digital assets, for companies like ours, for companies like many of yours in the room and tuning in today. We believe that what governments are trying to do around the world and think about their own digital currency is a great opportunity. First of all, we've had our own dialogues, and really one of the exciting points over the last year for me has been to work with governments like the government of Bhutan, where we've signed a public partnership as they go down the road of thinking about their own CBDC. We've done so at the Republic of Palau, governments that are trying to think about how they can leapfrog technologies and opportunities to really be in this world of central bank digital currencies or stable coins, to make sure that they're not falling behind in this world. We think there's a lot of opportunity for many people to play around these CBDC ecosystems. And clearly some companies, some countries will keep this very narrow and keep this very locked. That's understandable. These are sovereign nations and sovereign countries and central banks that care deeply about what they're doing. But the interoperability between these currencies, the ability to advise, to transact, to provide solutions, to provide just advice over time is going to be a big opportunity for many of us and many of you as we think about this. We think 80% of central banks around the world are now actively looking at CBDC solutions, whether or not they're just in the research stage or down the road on pilot projects. Either way, that's a lot of opportunity to go after, and a lot of places where each of you, as you think about this particular part of the exciting terminology and headlines around crypto, can partake and be a part of. I will go to point 7 next. It's really important to understand that different cryptos and their underlying blockchains were built for different purposes. There are so many different use cases. And the question is, what are you really trying to solve for in your business? And having been now in the crypto space for some time, and having been at another technology company that was very much thinking about payments and the importance of payments to the underlying business for the many years before that, this is an important point. I would use one question or a prism through which to look at the next many days. As you hear about business models, as you think about investing in business models, if you think about opportunities that you're going after with your own blockchain or crypto company, simple question: what is the big issue, global issue, that you're trying to impact and change for the better? How are you changing the world? I think everybody in this ecosystem and on this call and in the room at Blockchain Australia is changing the world by definition of the underlying technology here. But as we get down to use cases and how we're actually going to put energy, funding, people, excitement, and get the next generation of people involved in this industry, I would bet today that the opportunities at places that are really moving the needle on global problems and doing it so in a quick and exciting fashion and driving a whole company ethos around that are going to be the places that will attract all the above: capital, people, you name it, and will be the winners. So what is your business really trying to solve for? Clearly, different ledgers were built for different opportunities. Bitcoin started, as you all know and have been around, and as a means to facilitate the P2P payments. It's now an unbelievable store of value and has an incredible opportunity and has emerged as the leader in that space. We really believe that XRP and the XRP ledger was built even more specifically for payments. And as we've built this business out, that has proven to be exactly the case. Tailor-made, custom-made for moving value across the internet. Other blockchains are going after big problems, big opportunities as well. And that is incredibly exciting. And one of the things that as I think about where this all goes, there's going to be many winners at the end of the day, and how we all work together and how blockchains interact, and how we all go after these big, intractable, at least for now, global problems that only blockchain and digital assets can solve. Let's think about how we can all be complementary and work together in going towards this. Finally, if you are thinking about as point 8 of integrating crypto solutions into your business to take on a crypto-enabled future, here are some other things that I'd like to leave you with today in my last couple minutes. We're excited about how crypto can eliminate pre-funding accounts in the destination currency. As you think about how money is moved and liquidity is needed on either side of a trade as you move value across borders, pre-funding is a big issue. Liquidity is a big issue. We believe that that is something that through our on-demand liquidity problem or product, we can actually solve for you. Real-time treasury operations in global markets with digital assets. Capital isn't getting locked up in accounts where it's not being used. It's a waste. It's not pushing the needle and doesn't need to happen. Second, crypto is 24/7. It's 365 days for instant settlement. That's a huge change from the way that everybody, I bet, that has grown up in this region has thought about things in the way that you've tried to move value. And it's still the case as remittances and people try to move money back home for needs, or small businesses try to pay off trade invoices that they have. This is an incredibly big opportunity. Remittances, trade, you name it. The difference is we can do so now much faster and more instantaneously than ever, and make this fast-moving region move even faster. Third point I want to bring up, because we're now 3 weeks and 2 days into the Ukraine war and crisis. There's been a lot of discussion, and there will be at this week around crypto and sanctions. And it's very clear to us that crypto cannot be used on this global scale to evade OFAC sanctions. At Ripple, we have absolutely no interactions, dealings with anyone that's being sanctioned. That's just a principle of the company and RippleNet. But we do believe that crypto is not some nefarious way of moving capital around sanctions in this case. Actually, on the other hand, I've been super excited and interested to see how crypto has helped fund some of the relief efforts in the Ukraine, come behind some of the world-leading NGOs, and even a dialogue that we had here in Singapore on Thursday night around the refugee crisis and what groups like the International Rescue Committee and others are doing, the notion of how payment can be moved into the country to help immediately, crypto and blockchain, solving real problems that are about as timely and as urgent as you can get. We believe in global liquidity. We believe in tokenization of the world. And we believe that all of us in this room and over this next week, when we get back together a year from now, if it's anything like the last year, I can't wait to see what all of you have created, the value we've created, and how APAC, Australia, the Middle East, and all these regions that are adjacent to us have impacted the global world here. We're only beginning. This is the start. I could not be more excited to have spent a career building businesses in the region, and now to be in this seat at this company with this crowd and this opportunity. And I'm excited for what all of you will discover today and over the next many days. It's exactly 20 minutes, 8 points for you to take away. Thank you for listening. Have a great day and a great afternoon and rest of week. Thank you.